as well. Just looking at, they played it once on HLTV. We do actually get a ban of Mirage, funnily enough, by Diamant, and we'll be deciding things on Overpass. So, like we said, we don't really have a lot to go off on here. The only thing we do have is that Rottweilers have played Mirage a little bit. They played it 3 times. So the only one with kind of stats on HLTV, but for the most part, there's not really much tape to go off on either of these two sides.
No, that's very, very true. Certainly curious as to why the Mirage doesn't come out as that first pick, you know, given the limited information that we do know. Potentially, these are teams, I think, around the same sort of level. They will be scrimming each other. They will be in the know about preferences and whatnot, I am sure. Behind the scenes a little bit, you might argue, but ultimately, they know something we don't, and they go towards the Dust2 over the Mirage, perhaps a map that Diamant really do not like playing. There definitely will be Counter-Strike played, of course. It's just the fact that the officials on HLTV, not quite here. There's going to be a number of tournaments out there, you know, 2,000, 3,000 euro prize pools, things like this that just don't quite make it onto HLTV, right? So, indeed, I'm sure they know a little bit of something that we do not. But we are quickly into the action here, so credit for that. Moving in very, very quickly indeed. No issues as yet. And we'll see how things go. Diamant. Slovenians looking to try and let themselves be known. Straight up middle here with 3 players. No kills as yet, but maybe an opportunity for it. They will take that first. And able to get away, question mark. They are. And they get another on the way out, actually.
Okay. Yeah, that is... Then she's going to open up a door or two. Still, what's the play from here? We're in a position where, again, like you've got a bit of map control to work with for the T side, but numbers don't favor you. Flash around that corner with a clear close, not effectively. Keep up for 1. Rifler, and interesting name, Rifler. He will pick up the P250. Double back, spotted in lower. Journey, you'll see him off, and all on Red Star now in a 1 versus 4. No real chance for him.
Nah, not looking good here. They're going to be aware of him as well here in these footsteps, so should be easily able to deal. And there you go, through the smoke coming in also. So a nice finish, a lovely, strong start, I think, with a clear game plan coming in, to say the least. I think really a fan of that they just, you know, are playing up to their opponent, not being scared of or being nervous, considering, as we mentioned, some of the names here on the Rottweilers side of things. So yeah, really keen start coming in from Diamant.
Yeah, agreed. Can't complain about that, yeah, at all, really. So, a 1-0 start, a no-buy, as expected, of course, being that there is no bomb plant. There's nothing really to work with. Mate will come around that corner. Keep up, going to take some serious damage, and they will go down to Red Star, in fact. So, something already to work with. You can get a bomb plant around like this, you'd be pretty damn happy, to be honest.
Looking for it. FAMAS at the back here. Does have to be careful. There's something on the other side of this, for sure. Bit of a shame that he goes down without finding anything, because I think with this bomb plant and man advantage, it looks like a decent round for Rottweilers, to be honest with you. And there is a kit available, but 1 flash. Everybody pretty split here as well. It's not a great looking retake. Lovely find to come through. It's actually a double in from Yurnate. Super, super clean stuff. See what the Deagles can get done as they're left isolated. Red Star on his MP7. Does make some money. Yurnate deleting a lot of heads to kind of bail them out, really. Big 4K from him.
The big thing for me as well is that, you know, for Rottweilers, a bomb plant and 3 kills, like, that is actually a really decent round, all things considered. In a bit of a nothing round, you absolutely take something like that. So for Diamant, they do need to be just a little cautious, right? That's more expensive than it should be. That's actually kind of worrying. There was a Christmas tree up there. We kind of had this conversation yesterday.
I know, what is going on?
I think this is it, right? You know, you put your Christmas tree up, and if you keep it up past January 12th, it's bad luck if you take it down. So they end up just keeping it up for the year.
Yeah, because I had a little look. I think our Epiphany, as we call it, right? Obviously, there's a few different versions of Christianity out there, and I think we're quite different in this sense, in England in particular. Ours ends on like the 5th or the 6th of January or something like this.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
So I don't know if I'm not sure if we have like the bad luck thing necessarily. I think it's worse to like keep it up. I feel like that's something, you know, I'm not debating you or whatever, but I feel like that's just kind of something invented by like a lazy person that was like, yes, if you leave it after this date, you have to leave it up all year or it's bad luck. So yeah, I don't know, kind of crazy stuff to say the least. But indeed, we are back into the action pretty quickly here, and of course, everything all ready to play over on Lorgar. I think it'd be cool to check out. They got streaming, gaming, and sim racing all in one solution there.
Yeah, I did have a little look on the site. You know, when we got picked up for the event, I was like, I should really have a look into who I'm working for. And cool place, definitely worth checking out. A little banner will pop up at the show and load the stream and all the rest. First true gun round for Rottweilers. They got for us. I mean, with how fairly successful that previous one was, considering the lack of investment brought to the table, you expect big things here. And for Diamant, you lose this round here, you're going to be in a bit of a trouble in terms of the money. Molly over, swing on the corner, and it's Red Star to open up proceedings. The God Flash from that palm tree does nothing.
Yeah, put their eggs in the wrong basket, really. Stacked up over on B, and also more resources in towards long, so they sacrifice mid, they sacrifice short, and that's unfortunately where the Rottweilers go. Now, they're going to have to watch out. I mean, this is one of the things that I think Rottweilers will be pretty good at, is just going through some kind of top-level demos and pulling information and being like, right, what's the most effective strat on each map? And at the moment, it is that faking out mid, ending up short is a pretty popular one. On Dust2, of course, so yeah, gonna have to just be a little bit careful that they're not completely ceding control of that area. I think they'll have a tough time if they make this a common kind of setup. And they're all gonna go down as well for the most part, right? Just Yerne surviving over at long, so not really an effective save, to say the least.
No, not at all. And a pretty good round to put on the board. I think as well now for the T side, it's a real opportunity to start kind of scaling in towards this game, especially with one that feels as comfortable as that. Not only in terms of like the comfortability of the execute is one thing, really simple, really solid. You know, it's a kind of a position where for Rottweilers you can build upon that. It's a replicable round, as we like to call it, but also the fact that they make Diamant's life really, really awkward with that pretty successful hunt. You can see what it had in terms of an effect towards the buy. M4, FAMAS, MP9, Deagle, and a 5.7 to round it out. Small amount of util, but a lovely little double stack. That's a very popular place to play these days at the pro level. That close left hugging the wall, because essentially there's no real safe way of clearing it.
Yeah, thrown away a little bit by Uni maybe, so just got to be careful of that. They don't jump the gun. Ships, meanwhile, on a solo mission here. Successful find. Big find onto Libra. I think with that, might be able to get the round. We'll see here. Raf2 finds himself in the wrong place, but at the right time. They really were not considering him, and he will capitalize. 4K overall for him. And after that first kill, you know, Rottweilers really bailed out for a moment. I think after Ships gets his kill on B, it's kind of their round to lose at that point.
Yes.
But solidly done in the mid-round for sure. Yeah,
no, for sure. Honestly, it looks in this round that it looks like it's going to fall apart immediately with that initial kind of short play, but it's the space they create outside of the initial kind of mid-fight. Raftu does well. He keeps attention drawn, but it allows them to poke a prod around the rest of the map and do it quite well. So, ooh, unspotted lower. I'm going to get out towards long. Hope. Libra. He's trying to take some space here. But yeah, nothing really to be expected to go down. It's money for the Mach 10 as well. Easy stuff for Ships. Might be more here for him. Head spotted. Honestly, this is a fight that should be against him. But with the spotter Raftu, win it out. And the last man of Uni, we're not expecting too much, to be honest.
He's just hanging out of the car here. Probably looking for a lift out of here, but I don't think he's going to get it, unfortunately. And they're also just not giving him the fights. So pretty well done by rottweilers not to lose anyone in this round, including, you would say, that MAC-10, as you kind of rightly pointed out. Not much of a gun to lose. He does have a full belly utility, I suppose. Uni looking here, but will go down. Ship's making loads of cash. That's also a big bonus, helping out rottweilers here on this T side. Being reliably informed that the D2 shouldn't be too bad for Diamant, so we'll see if they can keep up and remain competitive within this map. But the rottweilers starting to heat up, you know, get a feel for their opponent. And it's actually Raftu that's impressing, but yes, I think the consistency across the board is looking good.
But good time as ever to say shout out to our good friend and colleague Sermon, right? He's a friend of ours, known for a few years now. Always get to hang out at HTV, and he's been feeding us the information about Diamant esports. Not sure if it still is the case, but I know last time we spoke about Diamant, me and him, this was actually back in 2024 when they were playing the ISF qualifiers, the national qualifiers. He was involved in the side, kind of working for the org. And it's cool to see. He's a very knowledgeable dude. He's given us the rundown, which is always really good to get, I think, especially in qualifiers like this. Like, it's a lot of these players and the information that we gather from it really is kind of like, you know, do we know the individuals, you know, like the Red Stars and the Ships of the world? Yes, so we can talk about their history as their individual players. But as teams, like, we don't really know anything about rottweilers as a team. They don't really play a lot of the competitions, and we're pretty, you know, in the weeds of the lower tiers of Counter-Strike, but some of the random officials that these guys are playing, we're not checking in with. But yeah, it's always good to have kind of someone on the inside, like Sermon, for example. Mentioned that they've just qualified for Advanced, which is sick to see. Big up Diamant as well, and maybe they can chain a qualification to Advanced with also a qualification through this close qual.
That would be nice. Hard stuck for 6 seasons over there, he tells me. So, you know.
I hate to see it. Happens to the
best
best
to be out. Oh, keep up down below. He does set up a couple of kills. No one on the A-bomb site itself. So, again, some gambly kind of setups from Diamant. And unfortunately, it's only just going to even up the numbers. Raftu is very low here. He's grabbing info, importantly, and we'll see. This is an interesting kind of crossfire. The AK starts scrapping. The MAC-10 comes round. He's good for one. Can he net another? Unfortunately not. And now, well, with that kill, Libra just can sprint in and try and go for the defuse here. Unfortunately, going to lose his teammate. So taps onto the bomb, and a panicked Raftu
spotted him.
Maybe spotted him with the jump. Yeah, that's unfortunate. There's not going to be enough time to get the defuse in. Ah, that is rough. That is rough. It's like they get the one kill that they need, but then Raftu got the one kill he needed. So everyone getting the unlikely frags, and it just ends up being a weird situation going the way of rottweilers.
Yeah, honestly, it has to be said as well that all comes down to a bit of a subconscious movement there by Raftu, which I think kind of all of us would sort of make in a sense, which is, you know, as you're barreling in towards, like, you know, they've tapped on towards the bomb, you kind of jump the corner just as like a way to airstrafe a little bit. But in doing so, he spots that he's not on the C4. So it's something as small and as minuscule as that, and ends up winning them the round. A tag through the door as well. Just be careful. Uni is still sort of tempted by this P. No Han likes a fight though, so he can now keep attention drawn exclusively on towards double door. Red Star going to be sending in Ships for 2 of his own as well. I mean, this is prime Red Star and Ships, right? These two, this is exactly what these two have done in the past in their tier 2 careers. They'll fly into fights. They back themselves in so many engagements. Ships will go down. That's an AK potentially recoverable, but Raftu is here, who continues to have an absolute flyer of a game, 10-3.
Yeah, honestly, I feel Red Star and Ships on their day, it's hard to say, you know, if they're past the prime or if they've still got it. I feel like those two individuals could be looking across the rest of the crop, maybe like the strongest individuals in the tournament, to be honest with you. I think could be very, very scary if they're able to hit their level. I mean, maybe someone like Smooya, to be fair.
True.
It depends on what version we get of him, of course.
Yeah, for me, I would say, like, as part of my top 5, maybe not ranked yet, I need to kind of see how they play, but I would easily put Han as a top 3 and Red Star somewhere in the top 5. Han has been, like, consistently... well, him and Red Star being like consistently like in the top end of FPL for like the last year and a half, and I kind of keep tabs on it. Both of those two, at least in this season, have been absolutely flying. So they've got a lot of reps in. And we'll see. And also, you know, worth mentioning that, you know, we kind of spoke about that Dalu Young side. Aid Kit's always in that like top echelon of FPL too. So potentially he could be pretty good in his days. He's had some good moments in the past. I remember the earlier Blue Jays days. They were really one of the scariest teams. We were kind of in tier 2 for a while. So scary, in fact, that 10-5 thought they were cheating.
Classic.
When they beat them on this very map, in fact.
Yeah. The streets do not forget.
Yeah.
The accusations. All right. Important round here for Diamant. Fought up, AWP out. Decent utility. It's keep up on this. Standing at the moment on the AWP, so a lot of responsibility for this guy at the moment. See what he's able to find with it. Little dynamic as they move from short to long to try and bolster up. And it would be the correct call, but again, leaving space at short, they have to be very careful on their timings. Now they've left long, and unfortunately that would be the incorrect decision. Destro is able to dodge out the flash. Another comes in. He takes a kill with him. The AWP gets clapped, however. Han with an easy find, and that's going to give them the man advantage after the trades come in. We got ships on this lurk. We've got short presence as well, so really spreading out here on the Rottweiler side of things. Ship's going to hear all those footsteps, comes lurking in, and will manage, actually not to drop anybody, but he kind of contributes to the round in being annoying, right? Stops them from finding any kills on the site, and I think maybe forcing a save out. It's actually a reposition from Libra, so we'll see what they've got. Yeah, I mean, easily could have had that round dead to right if that double spray down had come through from CT, but the fact that it was pretty labored, not the play. Han so focused onto short. Swing and a miss from Raftu, and it's all on Red Star now. He's got to bail them out. He's going to wait for the tap. He's going to leave this nice and late, but maybe too late because he's going to lose his head, and the defuser come through. Diamant, that is a fantastic retake back in towards our site. Numbers disadvantage retake, no less, as well. Real credit to them. That is not an easy thing to do. And, yeah, Rottweiler's just got to ever so slight kind of kick up the arse there. Yeah, for sure. I mean, a real good case as to why maybe you should give a retake that you're looking confident with a look. Feeling confident with, I should say. Because, like, sure, it can work sometimes. It can work. You know, in a round that you need. Why not? Why not take that risk? I think we would have seen a lot of pro teams there, especially with, like, the mid flank, the net to kill. He didn't get the kill, but he kind of made it happen. And then the other two players are seen. A lot of teams would just be like, okay, save time, you know, really just go down to that autopilot. So credit to them. They make it look a little easier than perhaps it should have been. Stro up close here. Gonna gather some information. Has to be careful what kind of line he takes, what kind of peak he feels like going for.
Nice nade. Raftu just about dips his head back the second.
Not for that one.
You're not dipping your head away from that one. That is a -50 nade. That's more or less a perfect nade. There'll be the trickle down smoke thrown, and the second one behind is one towards boxes. That gives you the easy movement out from short. But Rifler with the rifle uses the rifle to get a kill. Can he get a second though? It's actually a missed opportunity from Uni, but a quick trade from Han.
Yeah, we're loving the name Rifler over here.
It's so funny, isn't it? Rifler. Yeah. Oh, really?
2 kills. Well, you know, exactly. It's like you don't have to do any thinking. You pick this guy. You see him on the looking for team page. You don't have to do any thinking at all.
Yep.
What is he? He's a Rifler. Probably with a name like that, he's probably like an entry, you know, because he just thinks about shooting.
That's it.
Oh. No crazy retake happening this time. Red Star makes sure of that. Libra spotted, panicked, does manage to find that kill, so having a think, but probably having a save. Again, though, maybe just not in the DNA. Diamant, he's in deep, he knows that. He's looking for some kind of a kill, or to just convince him to go for it. I think now going to be hard-pressed to survive, unfortunately. They've caught him on the save, they've done some damage, they know where he's at, they can trap him in. He has to fight one way or another to get this save happening.
Well. The question is, will he? No. Seen off. A little bit of a creep move around that corner, just making sure. Bob's your uncle. Rottweilers. Up to a 6th now, and we are rapidly in that scary position, I think, at the moment. Like 6 rounds already at T-side. I mean, they can still do a decent job of pulling away. I'm very concerned. I think for Diamant, yes, they've had these flashes of decent moments. You know, start of the half was not bad. That retake obviously was fantastic, but it's the lack of consistency for me, which is really killer. Once again as well, though, go and check out our lovely partners at Lorgar. Ready to play over there. Plenty of stuff going on. Just reading now, you can track your performance, meet your mates, customize any of our devices as well. All in one, statistically enhanced and community-proven Lorgar platform. So go check it out.
Ooh, nice flash over there. Meanwhile, we've got some action in the longhouse. Diamant trying to press the attack. They've done a lot of damage here as well. So yes, it settles in a 4-on-4. Goodness me, it just keeps cropping up, you know, in terms of the setups. They leave this short open quite often, and it maybe does come back to bite them because it's a very difficult place to sort of retake. And you see round after round, you got a player like Ships that's on that lurk. They seem to be aware, but when's he going to strike? And he's just able to find pretty perfect timing. There'll be some trades up in towards short itself, though. Overwhelming the initial defense. It's a tag that comes in. I think maybe a bit of a team kill happening, or like a jump down and he died after being legged. On looking to capitalize. What is going on here? Tap on the bomb. Ship's absolutely miles away. And he knows he doesn't have to do much more than that. Although, if they had a kit, it would have been a different story. Unfortunately, not the case. Maybe Uni making all the difference. I think he got legged in midair as he was falling down.
Yeah.
And took enough damage to die. I think. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I mean, I love that little kind of like no-scope play. The thing is, we're getting with these rounds as well. Like, there's so much chaos in terms of the kind of the retaking of space. Yeah, you are right. Legged in midair on the jump down. He actually was left on 1 point of HP. You hate to see it. You really do. It's a 3 though. Lovely. Yuto Raftu starts the round off 13 points here. Close the round of the half though. I feel like really for Diamant, they kind of need the last 2 for me to feel any sort of confidence.
That is true, yeah. The conversion has to happen here. And well, it might just... Wait, Destro found that kill. How's he done that? Okay, that's why. I thought it was the player behind him. I just kind of assumed, but he's just... Yeah, even wildly thrown his crosshair.
Even Destro looks baffled at it. You see him turning around.
Yeah.
Like, it just happened.
That's crazy. For goodness sake. Can they recover things then after something like that? I think even Rottweilers needed a moment to consider what had just gone on. 5 on 3, low HP on 1 is really all you've got. And they'll know about that, I think, on the Rottweiler side of things, but Can they convert here? Han contacting on this or leaving big gaps for him to work with. But it's when they round this corner. I think they know that. Interesting smoke choices. Molotov comes in. Han will find the kill. Yone forced away here. Keep up on the edge of the smoke. Some kind of a move through it. Meanwhile, the AWP involved holds down short, and it is going to be Han. So despite his first kill that they were kind of desperate for, it doesn't really look like it's going to be enough in this. Not enough time for him to get anything going. And it will be a fourth, so bare minimum scoreline.
It's true.
And we get that fifth.
Yeah. Hit that bare minimum. That's okay. You get a fifth, and I feel like you can be actually still relatively comfortable. Sure, it's not like a, a fantastic half. Obviously, you want to be taking a lead at the half, but getting up towards a kind of a fifth gives you that breathing room. I mean, that means basically you get a pistol. The force back should follow behind it before you know it. Yeah, real chance there. So, 7-4. Come back in towards the buy, though. No issues for Rottweilers. Raftu. Double flash around this corner, and he'll fall, in fact. So, good work from Destroyer, but Rifler does as the namesake says. Uses it well, gets a trade.
That is my go at the Rifler.
When will we see Orpa?
Yeah, no, we're going to have a whole team of them. That's what he's trying to do. But I just love that. It's like his WWE walkout or whatever. It's like his name is Rifler, and then underneath it just says the Rifler, like when they have like the Spear or the Madman or the whatever. I think his pretty much explains itself. The rest of the teams just walk through them, though, as not much happening in that final round. Just Rottweilers walking over them. So, I mean, Diamant, they started off with the pistol. You have to consider that. There's certainly something to them and some nice coordinated aggression, but we just saw a lot of rounds where Rottweilers could send a guy, he picks up 3 or 4 kills, and Diamant could not deal with that.
And the big thing is now that with that 4 rounds, the recovery required it's a pretty treacherous path. Like, we're talking pistol round needed to start things off. Force by first gun round, like the kind of like the bare minimum requirements to keep this within arm's reach. You lose any of those 3 in this first 3 rounds, and you're put into like a really, really uncomfortable position. I think they'll know that more or less just as well as we do. Rifler. Out towards long. Hop shot misses. He'll fall back. He's going to block the smoke. No, he's not. He missed it.
Oh, I don't know.
Put... Nah, he missed it. It didn't touch him at all. It didn't make any noise. And he's also... Well, actually, he's taken 1 damage, though.
Yeah, it hit him a little. I was going to say it hit him a little bit, but I think it hit him on like the back of the head after it had bounced off the wall.
Yeah,
so not
normally, if it touches you at all, it bounces onto side.
Yeah. But I think it still has to be on like the top of your head. So I think it's like you missed the initial, and then it hit the back of his head. And it didn't really do anything to stop the smoke going where it wanted to go.
Not that it makes a difference. They destroy that pistol round, by the way. So it's like, we were like going through the pedantics. Just check it. Is he using his headset as a mic, but like on his desk? Did you see that as well?
I did miss that one, unfortunately.
I think it might be Red Star. I'm pretty sure. We'll get back to
There's
it.
some, listen, man, these player cams that have like, really started to come in, and everyone's been pretty vigilant, like tournament operators being vigilant about having everyone on camera, etc., etc. Really revealing some interesting stuff about the pro, semi-pro kind of scene in Counter-Strike. I'm not going to lie to you. You know, the amount of guys who play in pitch black in like the middle of the day, or the start of the day, in fact, is just crazy.
Yeah, we've seen like 9 a.m. games where it's pitch black.
Really not good for your eyes. If you're like at that 25 years old mark, terrible for your eyes to play in complete darkness like that.
Yeah, agreed. Keep up is all that's left. He should be dead to rights in a second. He's not even given the chance to line up the crosshair. Double digits for Rottweilers. They are, no surprises here, Script, kind of flying through these rounds. Simple, effective. Nothing really to complain about. And we are rapidly approaching the kind of the worrying position now for Diamant. They are seriously running out of time.
Yes, indeed. Gets quite serious here, as they are going to have to keep things moving quick on that Rottweiler side. Hopefully deny Diamant any kind of way in and kind of crush them on this map as well. The Ancient comes in as a favorite for them, so Diamant, if they can pick up a few rounds and that confidence ultimately to be able to shoot back, it would be really valuable. So if they're denied that, going to be a complete game changer. I think Rottweilers will hope to continue this campaign and go into a pretty frag-heavy map of Ancient with the belief that they are just the better side here today.
On. Nice find. Open up proceedings in what is ultimately a bonus buy. Look at this by Han. Surely this round has absolutely no legs behind it. They're going to look back in. There's Han. Spotted out another. That's the bomb, in fact, and Han's gone for 2. Oh, this is just proof in the pudding of where Rottweilers are at the moment. They are head and shoulders above of Diamant at the moment, and Libra can't convert. 11-4. And as that was a bonus buy against a full buy, there's surely absolutely next to no chance here for this Diamant side now. They've been overwhelmed. They've been shut down, and well, I mean, safe to say, you know, the money's going to be a little bit shaky here, but Diamant, they might just force buy to see off the map.
Yeah, it is true. I mean, it's sometimes the CT sides where just entire teams of strong individuals are able to dominate.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going to see towards the end here. Destro with a good spawn. Tries to get out long. Can't quite find the timing. It does cost him a lot of HP to get out here, but he's clearly a little angry and wanting that opening kill as much as possible. Nothing presenting to him, but the rest of the team with his control are going to join him over there at long, so we'll see what they can do with this.
Yeah. Will Han get mollied? There is 2 mollies to work with for the T side. They're going to contact Uni. I was going to say should be dead, but he actually come out on top. Chips is still here. Awful time to pull out a nade. Thankfully, he can get briefly bailed out, but Libra's gone for 2. A lovely shot with the Eagle. Destroyer going to find one of his own as well, and it's Red Star all alone. And he'll get that C4 planter, but this round's done. So Diamant, stay alive, stay afloat just about for now.
Yeah, I mean, proving what they can do when they're given the control, when they're given the space to work with, right? But as we like to say, ultimately easier said than done. Red Star looks away at the worst possible time and will go down. So pretty clean stuff overall, I think it is safe to say. That's the round in isolation, though. Don't mean to immediately be negative about things, but we have to stay in reality here. And it could very, very quickly just go right back to square one if they cannot keep these rounds coming.
Double orb setup for Rottweilers. Red Star and Han. Red Star going to go in towards lower with his. Well, he down love no effect on him, but I'll gain information of at least one in towards lower. Flash over as Han will fall off short. He's here though. Oh, he's panicked and flustered between the 2 choices. He's going to continue looking for fight. Gotta be dead to right, and he is. That was chaos, but he ends up falling for nothing.
Han doesn't land anything just yet. We're going to know about the presence of the AWP, so one would assume going to try and work around that now. Really slow moving here. T-side does not want to squander this particular moment with the man advantage. Try and see if anything comes their way, you know, if there's going to be a move from the Rottweilers. And ultimately there is. They're opting to stack A or save. And I think it's going to be the or save option because it looks like the bomb's going to head B.
Have to. Looked like he was in potential for a kill. It's actually Ships going to come out on top. They're going towards being no one's here. I think, honestly, for Rottweilers, I mean, you can give it a look in, but I don't even hate the idea of just saving here. It looks like they're already angling for that. They know they've lost the B site. That'll be that. They'll clear out that smoke, make sure there's nobody lurking around it in case they were somewhere up close and personal. And they're not. Bomb down, round done. And that now puts it to 11-6. Still a long road to recovery, don't get me wrong, but there's some positive signs here from Diamant. They're at least proving there's a little bit more about them.
No, it is true. It is certainly true. I think a little pick-based at the moment, right? Trying to find an opener or a hefty amount of early control. So I'd be curious to see what happens when they have to play around where that doesn't happen. Maybe something based around, like, executes or whatever. Could get a bit different, but so far, indeed, there is a bit of something about them. And as I said, you're in that realm where you're just trying to build some rounds for your map pick, your strong map. And they are doing that. They've not been completely rolled over with just a couple of rifle rounds to speak of for the entire sort of 20 round affair on this map.
Yeah.
Could have been very, very one-sided, but gone a bit further than that.
On. Back into lower he goes. And we've seen that already in a couple of rounds ago. Red Star make this move in towards low and kind of get away with nothing. Oh, right, I think that was actually Ships that time. But something that Diamant are definitely going to be aware of at the very least. Another deep smoke long. Raftu will play behind. There's two in this direction, one of which is about to fade, but of course there is that second one that has just plumed. May have heard a step as well. Raftu going to tuck himself up close.
Oh, flash not quite good enough. Raftu indeed able to get that trade. And they can't deal with him. Works out brilliantly. A very well-timed Molotov. They will be chasing him down. It seems like Raftu had kind of given, you know, not enough respect. He's a bit lazy with his movement. Keep up does go down, so it's going to come down to just the two players here. A tough conversion, to say the least. Oh, nice little one-tap, but Libra finds himself alone. That might make them weary of him. But you would assume the number's just a bit too strong. Can he find anything else? The AWP had crept in. A tag through the wall. Libris one-taps are clean. Just doesn't have enough of them in the chamber.
I think now, there we go. Exactly that. Is the headset mic there? Is that being used as a mic, but like in front of his face? When using the in-ears? I don't know. But Rottweilers, either way, there's a rounds put on the board for them. They find themselves on map point. It's a commendable effort by Libro with that too, but it's just not enough. There was just too much for him to do in that scenario. Ollie down. Red Star somehow doesn't get away with a kill there. Second time asking, he will, but he's spammed down through the smoke by Keep Up. Keep the numbers level. Gonna force Harm back on towards the site. He drops a flash to try and slow them down, but he wants a peek here.
Yeah, definitely looks that way. Trying to take some fights. I like this, though. We've got two up middle. Very aggressive move. Uni round the corner, holding the shadow, of course. But we'll start to move away as they want to push up long, and he's got some utility that they need. Smoke comes over. When is this flank activating, and how is Han going to look on the AWP? Flash in is good. Completely unspotted there, but he moves up onto a different angle. Couldn't quite decide. Molotov maybe distracting him, but it is this flank that now comes in. Pretty good timing. They can't hear. Could have gotten away with a bit more, but it looks like it's still going to work out. Sort of a bait setup here as well, as Raftu just going to see how much he can find, and Ships surely going to finish it off. He does indeed. 13-6 as Diamant with some nice rounds towards the end, but the inevitable feeling that we've had still does indeed happen. Dust2 going the way of the Bulgarians.
Yeah, credit to them as well. And I think now, when we look towards this Ancient, we know that Diamant have picked into it, and a good map for them apparently is the information that we've been fed. But it's a really good showing, I think, is the main thing from the rottweilers side. That they just look so unbelievably sharp. Right? This is a side that we know can hit hard. This is a side that we know are really happy
to just sort of use that to their advantage once again. And you know, conversation may be as simple as that in my eyes.
Yeah.
Not the most tactically depth map at the moment, tactically deep map I should say at the moment. So yeah, I think that if they're able and look a bit more confident with the guns up, maybe Diamant have a better chance here, but easier said than done, really.
I think you're absolutely spot on. It looks like we'll be getting things ready heading in towards that map number 2 in just a second. And well, a big question mark really for Diamant as we've kind of been building up. Do they have what it takes to get back into this? We're gonna have to see. Back underway and live for map 2. Diamant starting that T side, and they're going straight for an A-main play, and Ships hears all of this, so he wants to get straight out of dodge. Back into a donut he goes. He doubles back for a fight, and he'll lose his life.
Han on the edge of the smoke here was maybe thinking about being a hero, but will be denied the opportunity, just playing things by the book. So bomb's going to go down. A retake required for the CT side. They do have a kit available. Red Star, smoke to his name as well. So maybe a chance for them to get in. Libra on top of this bomb, looking to be the first line of defense. An unexpected angle. He does kind of miss the mark. They're going to have to try and get this player off the bomb. Keep an eye on that kill feed if he does indeed go down, but I don't think he will. He gets the defuse in.
Wow.
With that kit. Oh my goodness. Wild ride in the end. As it will be a little bit of a difficult one on that retake.
Yeah, that's got to hurt. That really does.
Okay, I was going to say, I was kind of losing my mind. I think the HUD was flipped a little bit. It said Diamant on CT, and I was losing my mind. I didn't want to call it, but yeah, it was the Rottweilers that got it done. So that's unlucky. That is unlucky.
Yeah. Big defuse. Well, from the position that we're at now, Diamant bomb plant does mean buy, which I guess is good. It's, you know, a level of a positive to have, but still not exactly the kind of nicest position to be in when you actually got a decent amount of room working forward and towards the site. Like, credit to Diamant, that fly in towards the fight is a really nice way to play around it, but just that post plant. Smoke down, good timing on it.
Ships tagged up here. That's kind of about all we've got to write home about at the moment. Diamant trying to retake some control here, trying to force out a first kill. Not looking likely. However, missing certain bits of timing here on the Rottweilers side of things, so might not be expecting these players as close as they are. They're deep into the site before the peaks even come in. Rifler sitting around will go down. I maybe expected a bit more from him as he was playing things hell of a lot quieter. It's Red Star, though, that finds 2. So, unfortunately, the Rottweilers, again, just a bit too telegraphed. Similar to D2, they're predictable in places.
Yeah, there they are. Once again, they're diving in. These MP7s up close are so difficult to deal with in certain ways, but again, when you're on this T side, especially for kind of Diamant, you've got to be really taking the map, or I guess the site control first before committing to that plant. They kind of went the other way. It was early kills, bit of space created, then go for the plant, and then try to take the control. And in doing so, Rottweilers are able to double themselves back in. So, yeah, Diamant, it's again under that bit of pressure. Now down to a low buy. It should be simple here. They are going to go to what is a Baron A bomb site for now.
Han's here. He's looking good. Lines them up. Mows them down. And going to crush the dreams of Diamant. Destro also dealt with. So there you are, Han with a 4K. For a moment, it looked vulnerable, didn't it? But he just appeared at the right time, and they didn't quite know. It's a very, very small window of opportunity. They did not capitalize, unfortunately. So no bomb plant. No kills, even. Yeah, lovely to see. We love an eco spray down. They always look super clean. But yeah, curious to see now Diamant on the first full rifle buy. What can they do?
I think always good for the confidence as well. Into the first buy round. A bit of time to go and check out Lorgar as well. Bigging them up throughout this. And yeah, big shout out to our partners. Streaming Gaming or Sim Racing. One solution, Lorgar. It's got it all ready to play. Flash over for rifle, but very easily avoided their rifle, may I say. The MP7 will die round. This is a bit messy. There's a great flash that came over. Red Star and Han both threw big flashes there that made life so difficult. On the turn, Yurne will be caught as well by Han. And an immediate shutdown. This is a level of dominance now being shown.
Yeah, really looking one-sided as Ships closes it out. Very, very difficult to say now what Diamant can kind of do to answer back. These early rounds have just ultimately been no contest. Great flash. Han's just a monster at the moment, and as you said, probably the one to watch in this particular series, in this tournament maybe at large as well, so yeah, got to be very, very careful. Diamant looking to try and get a response. We're actually going to spend a fair amount into this round. What a utility for a buy of this kind, so we'll see what they can do with it. Libra going to find the first kill here. He's got his hands onto an AK as well, so could be a real difference maker as they try and break in towards this B bomb site. The pistol comes out to make the difference. It is still a 2-on-2 though, as it's gone down. Junie on the AK. Meanwhile, Libra's just crept in from behind to find that frag. Still got a bomb to recover. Still a bit strange, but Red Star's low.
Libra, he's doubling back. He's just being heard though, is the only issue about this. Yeah, Red Star might be low, but he's also crossed. I don't know if Libra's going to expect it. Surely not. It kind of looks like he's keeping an eye trained on this position. Uni at range will probably be the first fight, and then that's when Libra has to trade. Oh, they're going to line up as well. Oh, that timing is so awkward. If they had gone one by one there, they probably actually win the fight, which is normally not what we want to do. We normally talk about don't isolate duels, swing together, but that's the one instance where you actually wanted to be isolated, allow for the trade, garner the information. It's so close yet so far for Diamant.
Looks absolutely lovely on the replays once again, but yeah, tough stuff as Diamant kind of unlucky in places as well. Doesn't help their campaign. I suppose this is very much a game where you create your own luck, it feels a lot of the time. Break coming in. Rafu knows there's someone around. Can't quite follow the traces. It's the AK to win that little smoke duel. There's also been a kill towards middle, so suddenly a 5 versus 3 in favor of the T side.
Rifle up. Playing up close. Still not a huge amount. Be an awful lot in terms of information. And with the numbers not favoring them, Rottweilers actually do need to get proactive. Hearing and seeing all this util towards the A side, they've got to know this is where it's ending. Pop shot by Harm, but he can't deny that bomb going down. And a decision to be made for Rottweilers. They've got plenty of money, but you could be tempted into a save here.
Yeah, looks that way. I mean, this is the futility of a round like this. Maybe if they were a bit closer to the action, they'd give it a look, even in the 5-on-3, as you say, thanks to the cash, but I'm just going to say another argument as well. Denies like the AWP away, the potential of that.
Miniature amounts of kill bonus too.
Let's start. Let's live it. take some guns away in the end. So Diamant with their first on the board. They're happy with how it comes, and ultimately just happy to have it. But they're going to have to string together a few more, and as we mentioned, that is going to be tough. There's still plenty of cash available, and I don't think that we have a super deep message just yet from the side of Rottweilers. They definitely could give us a bit more in terms of the strat book, so curious to see what that'll be.
Yeah, no, agreed. It's still a position where massive kind of amount of recovery is required. Chips is going to flash himself back into the mid-fight. Oh, and he gets away with 1 and 2. And he gets away alive. I can't believe it, Chips. How? How has he possibly made that work?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And again, I just feel like this is sort of the extra 10% that the Rottweilers guys are going to have. Able to lean on it once in a while. Raftu does get bested. Red Star there for the trade. Also re-aggressors, so super confident stuff here, and you can see why. Gets away with 3 overall there off the back of a really, really simple flash. So Rottweilers right back on the board. The absolute worst case scenario for Diamant. They don't even get the bomb down. So this following round, they're probably going to have to take it on the chin, right? Little half-buy. Might go and try and cobble together what they have. 3 survived in that previous rifle win, so maybe they have enough money, but gonna be tough to say here. Yeah, I was gonna say maybe the half, but they opt to go for it the way that the money had worked out. But you see there's 2 Galils in place and
yeah,
a lack of utility, really.
It's still pretty concerning, right, for Diamant. And the fact that it is kind of immediately thrown back in their face is the thing that really does kind of hurt them. Like, you put yourself in a position where now, discussing this recovery, there's still so much that we need to do to feel confident about it. Red Star. Got a tiny little sort of pixel peek for information more than anything about them moving out. Ollie down. He'll avoid it for now. Not so much the flash, but look at this stack here. Waiting his time. Ships. He's just buying time for 3. Looking for the 4th as well. He can't quite get it, but his job's all but done. It's a 1 versus 3 now for the AWPer with 5 points of HP. Okay, it's a great shot onto Raftu, but there's still no chance in hell. 40 seconds. And a dropped bomb. Ships have done so well.
Again, by the way, having a impactful couple of rounds, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
Kind of a monster. Rottweilers, so it feels like a really great name for a team like this. And
it does.
The style that they like to employ.
Fits them perfectly.
Definitely living up to it at the moment, but also the way that I think Bulgarian Counter-Strike has been played for a while, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really do feel like it just fits this side so perfectly. 7-1. And they continue to be absolutely flying here. And it's such a shame on the flip side because Diamant feels like, you know, at times you got nice ideas, but like you can't read into a second player waiting for contact, and Ships, yeah, he just does so well. This second shot, I will say, the one he catches onto Raftu, it's a great shot, but yeah, like we said, it's all for naught. 7-1. This series might be over in a flash.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame. I was hoping for more of a showing from Diamant. We saw flashes right at the end of Dust 2 and maybe what they'd be capable of, but unable to live up to it. At least for the time being. Still time. Always still time. Perhaps if it ends up being like 11-1, there won't be time. But even then, always a chance. Nonetheless, the AWP in play here. Curious to see what he's going to be able to get done with this. Waiting for a boost. He will get it. The spawn not quite good enough to get him up there fast. And I mean, yeah, Rifler's hanging about with a nade in hand. Does do a lot of damage in the end, but there was potentially a chance if Jixi had taken an early peek that he would have been able to find a kill there.
Yeah, true. Raftu. Spam. We'll find one in the corner as well. So slightly softens up. Oh, Raftu under pressure. Thankfully, has the support of Han. Ooh, for a second, that was looking a little dicey. Could have been caught, and that could have given them space into his cave, but yeah, Han, was just playing around that pillar, doubles back in time and bails him out.
Probably another slowdown and save here, maybe.
Yeah, it might already be done.
Well,
speaking of, though, I mean, he's got A-side control.
Yeah. And he does have a lot of it. We can see that. They don't know that just yet, but he does have quite a bit. That bomb ain't moving.
Yeah.
However, neither's the AWP. So I think potentially becomes more 20 seconds, becomes more of a lurk. Need this A guy to make some noise. Draw some attention away. The B players are not really scared of what's going on.
15.
I don't know how I feel about this. Yeah, they're just not really drawn enough attention across that A bomb site, unfortunately. Nade gets messed up, but that's about it. Bomb gives it a quick look, but yeah, they were just way too defended on B, and it is going to be the save over here, particularly of that AWP, is the weapon to watch.
Wow. Just too simple of a round for rottweilers. And like you kind of mentioning, just don't draw any attention towards A. Like, that man has to activate to, you know, get a smoke down, or even just, like, set up a flank. Like, he's kind of just lurking around A, sort of doing nothing. Stuff to watch. 8-1. Diamant. Good news is with loss bonus, they can continue just buying back in, but this is some really uncomfortable Counter-Strike.
Yeah, certainly can be. See if they're able to find a spurt towards the end here or not. The T side just never really getting off the ground and not building a set of foundations to work from. Cool little nade there. Doesn't quite net anything for Raftu. I have heard a little drop there, I think.
Potentially, yeah.
Tough to tell whether that's a sound that comes up on Spectator for us or if it is indeed client-wide. It would seem to be not. Raftu looking the wrong way, not expecting. Player up over at Shelf. Ship's nearly netting a couple. Gets awkward for him. It's a lot of damage done here. I think the CTs will try and give this their best possible look if they can. Rifler on the edge of this smoke, though. Forced away, and I think he's starting to think, I don't know about this. I don't think it's going to be possible. Han's got other ideas, though. Shot on the AWP. Down goes Rifler. There goes the round. So Diamant will get their second.
Looks like Han, I'm going to say, should be okay to save, but he's sticking very close to the action. Got to get on the bomb now if he really wants to give this a go. Maybe just keeping bodies drawn here. Gonna X out of main. He actually, with 72 points of HP, I think he actually is okay to save in this corner. Yeah, just about. One more tag, it could have been a different story. A second on the board for Diamant. Yes, it's nice to get another thing to talk about positively, but still is ultimately a long old road until we are comfortable and confident about them. I mean, they need the 4 rounds at the end of this half. They need to go kind of flawless from here on out. And then on top of that, put yourself into a position where it's kind of the similar thing we spoke about in that last map. It's like, find a pistol, force by first gun. Like, a lot of things still have to go right.
Raftu working his way in here, trying to find an opener, and he will indeed get it. Just too quick, too panicked for Yernate. AK going to be picked up, and he's able to get out of here pretty much scot-free, which is quite nice. Is there anything else on the cards for the CT side? Red Star 1-for-1s in middle. That's the big find, though. Ships goes digging a bit too deep. Is it necessarily needed? They've got a lot of info, control, and, of course, a man advantage. And he's maybe thrown that away there.
He'll fall. Ibra will go back in towards elbow control. But I was going to say, Rafdu was reclaiming some space, but he just can't quite confirm the kill. Back into a 2 versus 2 now, and it does open a door potentially. 45 seconds, look, you see it. Rifler dips in, finds one, and the last round of the destroyer, I'm pretty sure was heard there on the boxes, and surely should be dead to rights. There's a man in red room with the AWP posted. He's going to just about creep underneath it. And that's that. Destroyer falls 9-2. And once again, it's Diamant who, you know, you get around, but you can't make it a back-to-back round. You instantly get responded.
Yeah, really struggling. I mean, it just kind of ultimately says that, like, things are a bit fluky, you know? Unable to replicate their success, and you feel from a position that they were in, they should be able to do it, but they just don't quite know. They've got, like, the set moments for the entries, for the opening attack. Maybe it's successful, maybe it's not, but they don't quite have the scale to get into the mid-round and into the bomb sites themselves. Unless they're given a really clear opportunity, like an opening 2K or a wrongful stack or something along those lines. I'm going to try for a B rush here and just mix things up. Have to keeping this B bomb site alive. Nice little flash frame. Doesn't quite go wide enough to get the kill, though. That might make the difference. His hesitation, letting them down, and Red Star dry swinging in. Again, giving away a big kill.
Yeah, a bit of an overfight there. Safe to say that was unnecessary. All goes quiet as we just hit that minute mark. What is there to do now? This final round, you don't find this. If it's 10-2, you're in. I mean, already 9-3, you're in serious trouble. But 10-2, worse so. Especially because it's rottweiler thing going on towards the T side. If anything, it feels like it levels them up. Trixie. Making a move. They've gone for a bit more of a lean towards the A side. Based off the fact that they stop hearing information towards B. And as you can see, the amount they're going to walk out. So a completely barren landscape here. One down in a weird spot. Just about gets, I'm going to say safely planted, but to lose term, they actually planted the worst position for it. They're planting it expecting that CT control is open, but it's not. Ships with the AWP, turn around this corner. He's going to have the no-scope here, and he just missed the no-scope. All on the shoulders of one man. It's Han who gets the tags off as well. Uni needs to hit the headshots. He's now stuck in and around pillar. Han has a kit too, but no utility. Needs to win the fight, and he does. Oh, that is tough. And it's all based on that plant position more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some overthinking in places here. An overface from that CT guy as well, just on the wrong sort of timing. Not quite respecting that they could potentially have rotated early. I think they're used to more reactive gameplay than they are potentially proactive gameplay, if that makes sense. And it's like, okay, if they're not here, they must be in mid or on A, and therefore they're only going to move once we've planted the bomb. Well, actually, no, they get a sense of timing. It's like, if they were going A, they would be here by now. So we got to move towards B early and try and get the catches, and that's exactly what happens for them. Clean stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
10-2 for the Rottweilers. I think it's going to be a difficult road back for Diamant, the 2-0. Looking right down the barrel here in just a couple of rounds if things go south. They have been good on the pistols, though. I'll give Diamant that. Cool. We'll see if they can act up to that into this round. Look at what's happening, though. The bomb is actually headed towards A in all of this.
Yeah, some say difficult, others say impossible. Up close. Nice work from Yerne. But, you know, as they kind of wrap through, they realize no one's here. So, yeah, bomb will be planted. That is already a kind of moral victory in that slight kind of chaotic situation. And now a 1 versus 3, 4 ships. Gotta be next to impossible. He's not going for the big flank, is he? I was going to say, that would be a wild, wild move. Here's the steps. He knows there's one donut. And he has to just play from main and hope that they don't have a kit and that he can continue to be a nuisance. Let's see. Smoke on the bomb, and they might just start to stick it now. Ships for the first. He's already been spotted. He can't get the guy off the C4. He runs out of ammo. He might get knifed. What is happening? Ships will get the kill. He might even get the third here, and he does. What is going on in this round? It's Diamant who walk over the pistol, but that was chaotic.
That's crazy. The 10-second hold. I mean, Ships just desperately trying to get that player, like ignoring the guy, knifing him.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious. Oh, man. So, Diamant giving themselves a lifeline. We're going to have the Hero AK into this round. That's about all there is to write home about, saving little bits of cash. So, maybe looking to go for, like, the early rifle buy overall. But ultimately, it will be Diamant, in theory, to give themselves some breathing room.
Yeah, let's see. Can that Hero AK do anything special? It's in the right hands at the very least. And he's still got at least enough residual cash that he can bring something to the table next round, even if this one is to fall flat. I'd be super annoyed if this one is to immediately fall to nothing, but what is the play? You've got Shelf, you've got mid-control, and Diamant are super happy just to play on the sides.
Unique. He's going to have to pop off here ultimately, and he does. Well held. The rest of the boys also chiming in with all of their separate fights. Suddenly Red Star finds himself all alone and deleted in the end. So Diamant surviving another round. Still not quite holding our breaths just yet, but building a bit of excitement here if they can put up the wall.
Yeah.
On the CT side. Get this one cleanly, and maybe we can start a conversation about this being a comeback.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of still a very long road to recovery, but at the very least, these are kind of the right steps. Yeah. 10-4 as we come back in to the buy round of a Mach 10. 4 ships, everyone else got those full guns. The second offer there, Juxi doing well. He just runs out of ammo. But either way, his job's probably done. A 2 versus 4, this is tough to lose here for Diamant. I speak too soon, potentially.
Yeah, wait a minute.
He's been heard, though, by Libra.
He does reposition. They're going to be aware of it.
Oh, my God.
What is that? Crazy find. Unaware of this last player, though, isn't he? Really doesn't know where they're at. Expecting them to be together. He's had a firm reposition here as well, Uni. I think might have been missed. Could get caught in transition himself, though. Oh, man, he's just managed to round the corner. Rifler got the head on a swivel. It just depends. Is he going to hard clear things here? Seems like he will bit by bit. Uni is facing the right way. Bomb comes out a little prematurely, and Uni should have it.
No!
Oh, but Rifler takes him, Uni. Oh, man. It was right there for the taking.
No.
That is just, yeah, I mean, absolutely head in hands. You hate to see it. Could not get the headshot. I mean, can I criticize him? Perhaps didn't quite move fast enough as the digits were being tapped in. Maybe expecting a fake, but then he was facing the bomb site. Ah, that's so tough, though, isn't it, really?
Let's see. For the likes of Diamant, I feel like that was your chance to really scale in, and you've... I mean, let it die for nothing, but I agree. I do feel like the critique there really is like he should just be immediately diving on to try and deny that plant. Like, take the gamble there. Such an unknown quantity. The big thing is the labor spray. Yeah, no, he just walks past ships. He'll happily take those freebies.
Damn. Yeah, looking like there might just be a little bit of a capitulation here as a really big round to be losing, just getting folded in this one. And there was a moment, a brief moment for Diamant, where maybe they could have pulled things back, but it's just not going to happen here this afternoon. A very swift 2-0 on the cards, unfortunately, for them. And as we say, they do face off against one of the harder teams, maybe in the entire tournament, actually, depending on how the Rottweilers scale up. But yeah, really looking scary here. And they will be knocked down by all accounts. So we'll have to see. Got another BO3 to play, of course, on the elimination side of things, but not the best opening showing for the Slovenian squad.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those where it's not the end of the world, but it's a tough one to the least. Riflers Bonds in the worst spot. We saw the same thing happen for Diamant in the previous one. That was a little bit chaotic. Nearly the lineup. Han and Raftu kills a piece, though. Still, numbers stay in favor of the T side, and they're going to be added to it. The last man. It's a Mag 7. There's Juxi of a hope and a prayer here. This is Rottweiler. About to take a comfortable 2-0. Running out of ammo on his Deagle. Just as insult to injury. 13-4 on your opponent's map pick. What a showing by the Bulgarians. They looked great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, those individuals looking really quite solid, but just able to worm their way in.